So hello everybody, here's your Niall Sebastian Power Sieger. Welcome to this video. For those of you which do not know me and which do not know the data I did publish in the past in the internet, I'm one of the living humans which are able to communicate with ancestors, or to be more specific, with creatures which have lived as human beings before and which have lost their own human body. So in my case, it is a fact that I have lived a quite normal life without being able to communicate with such creatures for a long time in my life. And from a specific moment on, I was able to communicate with creatures which have lived as human beings before and which have lost their own human body, so ghosts, how other people would call them also. And from that moment on, I was living a different life than before. Let me say it like that. Today I want to speak a little bit about my lifetime experience. And before I'm going to start, I want to inform you, the people which maybe do not know my data, there's a website, ciembassy.com, where I do often publish videos where ghosts or creatures which have lived as human beings before do communicate with me and with the public which are watching the videos, and they do present themselves and they do communicate by several different methods. One of the methods, for example, is if they use the natural environment, so the nature, to communicate with living humans, and that's what you can find in the video material on ciembassy.com. You also will find a video database where ancestors of other living families did present themselves in the videos to reach out for their living family members and to send them a live signal and to inform them that they do exist and that they're, even without a human body, able to communicate with living humans under special circumstances. Let me say it like that. So I want to speak a little bit about my lifetime experience regarding the time period in my life where I do live with such creatures together daily, and where creatures which have lived as human beings before, which have lost their own human body, do communicate with me daily, and where they do other things. And it's getting a little bit complicated, so I'm going to explain a little bit. Creatures which have lived as human beings before, which have lost their own human body, they are able, under special circumstances, to connect in symbiosis with human bodies, like my body, and they're able to live in human bodies. They're able to outbreed human bodies, to influence human bodies, and that is easily becoming very, very complex, because they can influence biological bodies in general, also human bodies, on so many different ways. So, for example, creatures which have lived as human beings before can connect in symbiosis to a human body and can connect to the human brain, and then they're able, for example, to trigger feelings of humans, or to cause feelings which are caused by the human body, because they can influence the human body in that way. They're able to trigger thoughts, or they're also able to create thoughts in human brains if they're connected in symbiosis to human bodies. So, and that is, I'm speaking now only about the human brain. That's where you can see how easily that stuff can become very, very complex. That stuff in general, when creatures which have lived as human beings before do connect peacefully in symbiosis to my human body to communicate with me, is something I call body sharing. In cases where creatures do connect in symbiosis to my human body against my will, that's what I often call attacks. Especially when they start to influence my human body, to create thoughts in my human head I don't want to have, or if they trigger my feelings, stuff like that. Creatures which have lived as human beings before, if they connect in symbiosis to human bodies, they are also able to create illnesses. So they're, for example, able to destroy human cells, and they are also able to build new cells or to heal the cells in the human body. So I'm living a life since years now where creatures which have lived as human beings before, which have lost their own human body, do connect often in symbiosis to my human body daily. Some of them do live inside my human body for time periods, and some of them do that with my will, so that I agree on that fact, and other creatures do that against my will. So if you listen to the videos which are published also on the website, please separate always peaceful universal communication or stuff I did agree to compared to stuff I talk about which did happen in the past against my will. And creatures which have lived as human beings before, which have lost their own human body, can also create, for example, pain in human bodies. As I explained, they can, for example, destroy cells which cause pain, but they can use other methods to create pain for the living human, in the human body, with the human body of the creature which was born in the human body and which sees himself or herself as the human. They can, for example, connect to the nerve system of my living human body and can cause specific pain. In my case, because I'm living with creatures which have lived as human beings before together, as I explained, I had to witness in the past nice things and very, very sad and bad and antisocial and stupid and fucked up behavior from such creatures which have lived as human beings before, towards me, but also towards other living humans. For me, my daily life became very painful since I'm in that situation. It became very brutal. I have to suffer from a lot of wounds and pain, which was created in my life by other creatures which have lived as human beings before. And to be absolutely clear directly in the beginning of this video, it is not possible to live a normal life like I've lived it before for me, since I'm in that living situation. And it's not easy possible to live a truthful, enjoyable life if your human body is often influenced by other creatures which have lived as human beings before. So these situations do lead to a lot of stupid results if I look at them by myself, and unacceptable results in my life if I look at that by myself. In my case, for those of you which do not know, I started, which do not know me, sorry. In my case, I did start to inform about universal communication a few years ago. So maybe 4 years, maybe 5 years, I'm not sure about that. And I started to inform about what's happening in my life. I started to film that, to document that, to speak about that. And I also produced a lot of documentations with creatures which have lived as human beings before, as I explained before, which have presented themselves and communicated with me and the people which are watching the video to communicate with other living humans which are unable to communicate with them. So because they wanted also to communicate, for example, to their living family members. So they did ask me for my help, because I'm one of the living humans who's able to communicate with them, who's able to produce such documentations with them. These documentations, some of them are very interesting for people which do not know much about ancestors communication. That's for sure. That's why I can say again, if you are interested in that topic in general, how ancestors potentially could communicate with you, um, you can visit ciembassy.com. Regarding what I'm speaking about in this video, so body sharing, and the other option, if creatures do conquer a human body in parts or overtake human bodies in part, there you will find not so much information on the website cembassy.com. There's a reason for it, and I want to ensure that you do understand that. If you are interested in that topic, you should realize, you should be aware of the fact that if you get more knowledge in that topic, if you get more consciousness regarding that topic, that can lead to a situation that creatures which have lived as human beings before, which have no human body anymore by themselves, could potentially attack you, even by methods and in ways that you are unable to protect yourself. So it is very dangerous knowledge for humans which do not have the knowledge, because it can lead to a situation where they then get killed, tortured, attacked, and so on. In my daily life, I want to explain that. For example, creatures can block my opportunity to think with my own brain if they are connected in symbiose with my human body. They can also block the function I have as a creature in my human body normally, to use my human body to speak out, or to feel stuff, to see stuff, to realize stuff. All that is stuff they can manipulate. They can manipulate everything which have to do with the biological human body. That's important to understand. And they also can use the natural environment. So all biological bodies and the natural environment as humans would see it in general. So I came into the living situation that I'm able to communicate with ancestors because I came into the situation that my mom lost her human body. So her human body died, and I was not willing to accept that she's gone, and I was not willing to accept that I'm unable to communicate with her. And then I started to fight on a very high level to be able to communicate with her again. And I more or less opened the doors also by myself, the doors to heaven, if you want it like that, to be able to communicate with her. But be careful with the word heaven, because what people call heaven is not as beautiful as the most people think. It can be also brutal, painful, and all that, but it can be also beautiful. So both options are correct, but it's wrong to come to the conclusion it is only beautiful, only perfect, and to not realize the other stuff. So I have a lot of very, very interesting lifetime experience I collected in the past years. As I said, a lot of brutal, painful living experience, and a lot of unnecessary living experience as well, but a lot of interesting also. And it is often difficult for me to speak about it. And there are a few reasons for that. One of the reasons is that my human body is often getting attacked by creatures which have lived as human beings before, which have not their own body anymore, which means they then connect in symbiosis to my human body to create pain, to attack my nerve system, or to use my human brain to attack me as a creature. With the fact that I have to think them stupid thoughts or brutal thoughts or other stuff. So I'm often in the living situation that I cannot produce videos is also true. Some days it is impossible for me to do that because of pain, or because of the fact that I can't move, that I can't walk, that I can't stand up. It's depending on the situation, but I had to witness in the past a lot of very, very bad days because of attacks from such creatures. Reasons for these attacks are always individual reasons, and the creatures which do attack me do have always different reasons to do that. So I got attacked in the past from creatures which have lived as men before, just because they wanted to mess around with me. Just because they wanted to find out how much pain I can take and stuff like that. So very antisocial, very stupid, and very fucked up creatures do exist which have lived as human beings before. That is part of my lifetime experience. And these attacks are often very mean. And also, see, I'm a man. I'm a living man. If I fight with another man, or if a man attacks me, I have the possibility to fight back. That's quite acceptable for me as a man. But if creatures do not have a human body, and if they connect in symbiosis to other human bodies, to them torture the human, then that is much more mean than a fair fight between humans. I want to make that point very clear for the people which are interested in just topics, in such topics like that. And I want to make the point very, very clear. Their behavior, from my lifetime experience of some of the attackers, do present me only a very, very weak picture of them, not a very strong picture of them. Even if they can use also the natural environment for such attacks. So it's, for me, I look at that, and I'm explaining that because also videos are online where I got attacked. If somebody is using a strong instrument to attack somebody else, it do not mean that the creature is as strong as the instrument. And if a creature, for example, can connect in symbiosis to the natural environment and is attacking me with that as a tool, it do not mean that the creature is so strong as it might look to others because the natural environment is used to attack me. Before I speak out further, I want to repeat something. I know what I'm speaking about is for the most people which do not have such lifetime experience, unimaginable, unbelievable. It might take time for you to realize that my life is real, and it might be the case that you have to check my data to realize that. And that's why I'm repeating again. You can get an idea how it looks like when the natural environment is getting used from such creatures if you visit ciembassy.com. Even if you do not find there such attack videos, but on YouTube channels, you get the idea already. And if you check my YouTube channels, I'm sure you will find somewhere also videos where I got attacked, for example, by a storm or with animals, which means that these creatures which can connect in symbiosis to human bodies then did connect to animal bodies to attack me with animals. So with the natural environment, how I call it, including the biological bodies. So the life I'm living and the life a few other people are living on planet Earth, which are also able to communicate with ancestors on such a high level, or with creatures which have lived as human beings before, might be for the others, the people which do not have the lifetime experience, in the first moment unbelievable. And that's why I did start to create such data over years, to ensure that people at least have the chance to make up their mind by checking the data. If I look on planet Earth, it is nothing more or less as a huge weapon chamber and a huge weapon system creatures can use to attack me, which have lived as human beings before, which are able to connect in symbiosis to the biosymbiose itself, including potentially your human body. With you, I mean the people which are watching the video, including your human body, including the bodies of your children, of your grandmother, including maybe the body of the pet you have in your house. So I look with the lifetime experience I have, completely different on the planet or at the planet Earth as I have done it before. That's what I can share in this video. And that is because of all the stuff I had to witness, all the stuff I had to see, and all the stuff you then start to realize if you have the lifetime experience. In my case, in this video, I want to speak more about my daily life. But I want to make clear for you, the people which are watching the video, that the fact that I sometimes get tortured in my human body, my other creatures which do connect in symbiosis to my human body, to them cause, for example, pain, is often my daily life. It's not that I have so much enemies in this universe, as far as I know, regarding creatures which have lived as human beings before, which do not have their own human body anymore. But I also got attacked because, as I explained, some creatures are just motivated to mess around with others because they think that is a strong behavior. How I'm socialized, I look at that as total weak behavior, total stupid, and totally fucked up. And this is nothing which can impress me, even not if I get attacked by the natural environment. I want to make that point very, very clear. I'm a human. I did fighting sport when I was young, so I did kung fu, taekwondo, stuff like that. And I got attacked from a creature in the past, for example, where I'm sure he would have not survived that if he would have tried to attack me with his human body, in his human body, so the human body he had before in his life. But if you get attacked by creatures which do not have a human body anymore, you are unable to fight back directly in a good way, in an acceptable way. And that makes it very, very mean for living humans. But it also makes the behavior of such creatures also very, very fucked up. I look at creatures which do connect in symbiosis to humans when they have lived as human beings before, and if they start conflicts to mess around with humans, and if they're in the human body, and if they use the human body to mess with the creature which was born in that human body, and which have to live in the human body, and which is connected to the nerve system of the human body, I look at these creatures as rapists. And because humans can not protect themselves, I even put it by myself up to a level that I look at them as rapists which do behave like equal to rapists which do rape little children. Because humans cannot protect them. If a living man, for example, would rape a little baby, the baby cannot protect itself, herself, himself, whatever. And that's why social societies look at that as very, very fucked up and very, very mean. With creatures which have lived as human beings before, if they behave like that, it's the same. But as I said, it's not strong behavior. In the past years, where I got attacked, I could not see strong behavior from the attackers. I could only see weak behavior, no matter how strong the instruments are they can use, like the complete planet Earth. For people to understand that better, in this biosystem, for example, energy transfer, stuff like that is possible, can be used as a weapon. But if a creature, for example, transfer a lot of energy, you cannot look at all the transferred energy and say that is how strong the creature is which is doing that. No, the only thing how you can look at that is that you can say, okay, the creature is strong enough to know how to use the function of the symbiosis. That's the maximum level there. I'm making that point clear for the people which gonna do the research later, as I explained, which would be maybe useful for a lot of the people which are watching my videos, on which them see the attack videos when I got, for example, attacked by a storm. And I'll make that point clear because the results of such video documentations are clear. If I document something like that, and I did in the past, and it's online, people see a huge storm coming up. They see that glasses of houses getting destroyed, maybe a car is broken, maybe humans are hurt from the storm. And the storm was caused by an individual creature which did attack me. And that's why I'm explaining that, to ensure that you can understand. You should not be too impressed by the weapon which is used. And of course it is impressive if people do not know that that can go and that is going on planet Earth. But if you want to analyze how strong creatures are, which do not have a human body anymore, you have to be focused somewhere completely else. For example, if a 16-year-old kid is using a pistol to shoot another 16-year-old kid, you are not coming to the conclusion that the kid is so strong as an intelligent guy, because the kid was so strong to push the trigger. If I can do that, I'm strong as that kid, even if the result is the death of another human. But it was caused by the gun, not by the creature itself. The creature did push the trigger, so that's the means stuff, knowing that he maybe going to kill another 16-year-old. But nobody would come to the conclusion that the 16-year-old is so strong as the bullet, so fast as the bullet, or can cause by herself maybe so much damage as a bullet can do as a tool if it's getting used. And that's how you have to look at stuff if the natural environment is getting used to attack living humans like me, if you find such data in the internet. I want to give you another example. For example, in the past you find videos where maybe the headline is Niall attacked with a bee or something like that. And that were situations when creatures which have lived as human beings before did connect in symbiosis to animal bodies. They did overtake the animal body to them, for example, fly with the insect to my human body to hurt me or to go on my nerves. And you can see how weak that is if I explain you the following. For example, a creature is contacting me and communicating to me, Niall, I'm going to attack you now because I want to put pressure on you that you then decide to consume something, because they can connect in symbiosis to human bodies. They also can use my taste. So they can maybe just try to put pressure on me that I consume something to eat, or that I drink something special so that they can get the taste from my human body. The life feeling, if you want it like that, of the human body. And then it can be the situation that a creature starts to overtake animal bodies to attack me with them, and do communicate that even before the attack to me. As a human, I'm gonna tell the creature, well, if you do that, be aware you are killing these animals. Because if you attack me with the animal body, and I know that you are using the animal body at that moment in time, I will destroy the body of this animal to protect myself. And if the creatures then decide to do so, they're creating a situation where one creature which was born in their animal body is losing their body, one creature after the other. So the animal itself is losing his or her body because the body was overtaken for a moment and got destroyed in that moment during attack, not caused by the creature which was born as the animal, but by another creature. So all these creatures, these animals which lose their animal body, if I get attacked with their bodies, are victims of the attacker. And that's where how you can see how weak the behavior sometimes is if creatures behave like that. If I explain this kind of stuff, I know it's difficult for a lot of people which are watching the video to understand what I'm speaking about. So please try to understand if you are interested in that, and please check the other data, because then you have the chance to see such attacks live. You have the chance to understand it better if you watch the videos where it was documented. Regarding attacks, there are maybe 5 or 10 videos online, and there were in the past years produced minimum 20. And I did just upload a very few videos of all the attacks. And regarding when my human body is used by other creatures to attack me with my own human body, by, for example, that the other creatures then cause pain in my human body. That is, of course, it is difficult to make it transparent, but you will find videos online where creatures which did behave in that way towards me did communicate that to the public. So if you do deep research in the internet, you will find it. It's depending on you, if you give yourself the chance to do the research, and if you give yourself the chance to understand something. I'm just trying to give you the option by explaining all the details. I'm gonna come back now to the topic where I'm gonna speak more about my daily life situation. So I'm in the situation that the most creatures I have contact with which have lived as human beings before, I do have no conflicts with them. I do have no problems with the most of them. With a very few creatures, it's different. And with the creatures I do have conflicts with, they did start the conflicts in my life. They did attack me. And one of these creatures did that for no real reason. Beside the fact that the creature is socialized fucked up and took the socialization damage even with him after he lost his human body. And another creature which I've lived as a female before, she's often attacking me, but she had no reason to start that. So my living situation is with the very few creatures I have a huge conflict with. There it's the fact that they did attack me before the conflict. The fact that they did attack me did cause the conflict. For me, it is very, very sad that I came into this situation. I do not like conflicts. I think fighting is a stupid thing. It's better to be able to live in peace, and especially like universal wars, if you want it like that, is also stupid. That's how I look at the stuff. If it's not necessary, it is more or less stupid behavior. But of course, you have to react and you have to protect yourself in case you get attacked, and that did happen in my life. If creatures which have lived as human beings before, if they do attack me, so creatures which do have not their own human body, and they do attack me, for example, by using the natural environment or by um, causing pain in my human body, that do not impress me so much. And I will explain the reason for that, because I know so many people are impressed if they watch such documentations. The reason is very easy. I'm also a creature. At the moment, I have to live in my human life, in my human body, sorry. And that fact do make me weak as long as I have to live as a human, so weak as my human body is. As soon as I have left my human body, that's not going to be the case anymore. So it is correct that creatures which have to live in a biological body are unable to protect themselves in the first moment. But it would be wrong to come to the conclusion that I would be unable to fight back, or that I would be later unable to hunt such creatures and to harm them, because they did attack me before. And I want to make another point. Creatures which have lived as human beings before, for example, now I'm a living human, and a creature is attacking now me and torturing me in my human body with my human body. A few years later, I'm dead. I maybe have left my human body, and I do search for the creator. Sorry, the stress level, the noise sometimes in this house is unbelievable stressful. You just heard the screaming of people in the background. I'm sorry for that. The stress level in this house regarding the other humans is always very high. In this house, there's a lot of screaming and a lot of antisocial behavior from humans which are living here, because creatures which have lived as human beings before and which do not have a human body anymore did attack also other humans in the area where I live. And that did cause a lot of stress in the area where I live since a longer while. So I'm used to the fact that always when I try to produce a video, very often, that people start to fight against each other downstairs, scream against each other's, like you hear it in the background. I'm not sure if the microphone is capturing that. That is the ground level of the house. I'm in the roof area of the house. So there's even a level in between, and they're screaming so loud. It's so often, it's unbelievable. So sorry for that. I go back to the topic I wanted to speak about. And that is part of the topic. I want you to understand that clearly. I'm living a life. For example, if a creature which have lived as a human being before want to attack me, it's easily for them possible to connect to other human bodies in simbiose in the area where I live, to trigger their feelings, to create a very bad mood, to create very bad and aggressive thoughts towards other humans in their head, and then these humans get used to go on to attack my nerve system. That's happening often. And that you be aware of that and that you do understand that clear. I'm often also in the situation that creatures do communicate to me, which do such attacks, that they're going to do an attack, then they do the attack, and afterwards they communicate with me again that they have done the attack. So that's how it's easy for me to identify sometimes stuff like that. So you have to understand there's always often also communication with the attackers going on. And they do identify themselves, they do communicate that they're going to attack me sometimes even before. So it is nothing which is invisible for me, and it is nothing which I can't identify. It's depending on the situation. So where did I stop is my question in my mind now, because I got disturbed by all that screaming. Um, so let's go back to my daily life. I'm going to speak about my daily life. First of all, the area where I'm living is a total. It is not a nice life where I'm living, but that is caused by other creatures which have lived as human beings before also. That's not the only reason, but that is caused specific also by some of these creatures when they do connect in symbiosis to other human bodies, to them trigger them to be aggressive, to be in a negative mood, to have negative feelings, to them step towards me and let all these negative feelings out, or towards others. So that is a sad but normal situation in my life since a long while, a too long while, to be absolutely honest. Here I'm living in a house with, at the moment, let me count quickly, uh, three other people. And in this house, the house is owned by one woman. She's living in this house. And I'm more or less a guest staying for a while, and the other as well. And a lot of people moved into that house. And the energy was so negative that the most of them had to leave after a short period, because they could not stand all the negative energy and all the screaming and all the fighting which is going on in this area, uh, going out from those human bodies which get influenced. They could not deal with that, and of course, because it is invisible for them, they could not see what was really causing that. So I'm living in an area where I do not want to live since years. As long as I get attacked, it's gonna be like in the city area. I'm living in Bonn, in Germany, in the city area. It wouldn't even matter if I would move to another house, because if creatures would attack me again, they just would use other human bodies in that area, and then these humans would start to attack me and to scream towards me, or to behave very aggressive towards me, or very, very mean. Um, the humans, if their human body is getting influenced in that way, they think by themselves often they just have a bad day or something, or it's the fault of the other humans they them attack. They don't even realize what's going on. They're not in control regarding their own emotions and their own biological body at that moment in time, and they just cannot see often the cause. That is also here in the house the case, beside the little fact that the one woman who owns the house can also communicate with creatures which have lived as human beings before, which have lost their human body. And she's getting often influenced in a way that she cannot see it, to then be aggressive towards other humans, to attack other humans. But that part is not her fault. That's the problem if you look at that and if you can see far enough. It would be wrong to judge the creature for these kind of attacks, because other creatures do cause it specific by using her human body and by influencing that human body. But with the one woman, the case is that she can communicate with such creatures, and that she also got attacked in the past in a way that she could see it, and in a way that she could identify that creatures which have lived as human beings before did attack her in her human body by connecting in symbiosis to her human body. So at least she knows that potentially that can go on and can happen. But even if it's even if it's happening to her often, from let's say maybe 50 or 100 attacks, she just can identify maybe one or two as an attack, and only if the creatures which are using her human body want to create a situation where she then can identify that. That's a very, very mean living situation I'm in. It's absolutely fucked up. It's absolutely stressing my nerves every day, and that since years. And to just move into another house, do not um, bring the solution to the problem, because the attackers can travel with me the whole time if I want that or not. So when I speak about my daily life, there's a lot of very brutal and sad stuff I'm witnessing. I have to feel every day. I have to see every day. A lot of fucked up informations I have to deal with, and a lot of fucked up behavior from other creatures I have to deal with. And that, of course, is creating in my life also the situation that I'm very sad, very, very often. That my nerve system is so stressed that I also get easily angry, more easily than I ever got before in my life. And that is very sad. That is very, very sad. So in my daily life, it can happen, for example, that I wake up in the morning and that a creature which is in my human body and not me, so a creature which have lived as a human before, is contacting me and communicating with me that I should do this or that. So some stuff that I should do some stuff, and if I'm not going to do that stuff, the creature gonna attack me. And of course I'm not a slave, so I'm gonna often reply, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then I get attacked and I get tortured in my human body. Sometimes, if I'm awake 10 hours on a day, when I go to bed, I got tortured for more than an hour. I got tortured maybe for 5-6 hours during the whole day, maybe. That is often, not every day, but often my living situation in the past years. And very, very, very sad. Very, very sad and very mean. As I explained, creatures which have lived as human beings before, if they are connected in symbiosis to my human body, they have many, many ways to torture me. There are many, many ways to attack me. They have many, many ways to create a living situation for me where them have to live a life what you cannot call life anymore, because it would be better to be dead. That's how I'm looking at my own life very often, because it is so brutal. I'm very, very often in the situation that I would like to be in the situation that I already could have left my human body, because then I would have not to suffer so much. And it's impossible to enjoy your life like that. So creatures which have lived as human beings before, if they're in my human body and if they connected in symbiosis to my human body, they can cause from a stroke to a heart attack everything. They can cause cancer. They can destroy cells. They can repair human cells. They can manipulate the human brain. They can, regarding the biological body, they can create good or bad feelings. And for me as a creature which is living in my human body, that's gonna be the feeling of my day, maybe, if I am not strong enough on that day to go against it. So it's a very sad life. It's a very brutal life. It's not a life what I really can call a life. It's not a life I can enjoy. When my mom, I explained that before, how I came into the situation that I'm able to communicate with creatures today which have lived as human beings before. And if people hear that, they say, wow, that's beautiful. You are able to communicate with your ancestors. Yes, and I'm not in a conflict with my mom. And I like that. That is the beautiful part of that. And it's also nice that I potentially can help other humans which do miss their own ancestors, because I'm potentially one of the humans which are able to communicate with them and to connect other humans with their own ancestors. So that is also a nice part, as long as the ancestors of other families are nice. If they are not nice creatures, then it easily can become also very brutal situation, or a sad situation. The most of the stuff I had to witness is sad, regarding the past years, where I'm informing about ancestors communication, universal communication, and topics like body sharing. And there were a lot of situations which are totally fucked up, totally mean, and totally brutal in the area where I'm living. And I want to give you an idea about the dimension. For example, creatures which have lived as human beings before did attack also other humans. I explained that before, which were living in the house where I'm living. And what did happen, just to give you an idea, what did happen in one situation was that creatures which have lived as men before, which have lost their own human body, did connect in symbiosis to another man's body who was living at that moment in time in this house, and they did trigger the other man to them rape a woman. So they lived at that moment in time in the human body of that other man when he was triggered to rape a woman. And they raped a woman with that human body. And stuff like that did happen in the past years. And that is not normal. That is totally sad. It is really dangerous for humans to be in contact with the wrong creatures which have lived as human beings before, if they can use so much functions to torture humans or to destroy their life, to go on their nerves and so on. And but I want to make also clear, people like me living maybe a little bit different than you. Because, for example, if we would meet tomorrow, if you are one of the humans which are unable to communicate with such creatures, and if we would meet tomorrow and you would have maybe a deadly cancer, and you would tell me that, you would say, Niall, I got sick. I have a deadly cancer. I'm gonna die now, and it's gonna be very, very painful. People like me potentially look at that, what you are telling me that at that moment in time, and I'm asking myself, okay, but who caused the cancer? Who did attack you that you're gonna die suffering like that? Because there must be a logical cause for that. And with the knowledge I have, it could be a potential attack from a creature which have lived as a human being before, which have lost their him or her own human body, for example. So when you live a life like me, you look at a lot of things totally different, as other humans do that which do not have their lifetime experience in that area. You see things different, and you know that a lot of stuff which is called by other people illnesses can get caused very specific by creatures which have lived as human beings before, if they attack humans and if they connect in symbiosis to human bodies. When I started to build up my contacts with creatures I did not know before, so not my mom, but creatures which do not have their own human body, I came into a situation that one creature, and that creature have not lived as a human before, but is a creature without a body as humans would see it. And the creature, I was watching YouTube documentations, and then I did ask the creator what kind of documentation he would like to see. And the creator replied to me that he would like to see a specific documentation. And I'm going to explain you the documentation, what it was about. It was a docu about cases where people had voices in their ears which were telling them to attack and to kill other humans. And that creature wanted to see the documentation at that moment in time with me, to give me the information that that is really happening often on planet Earth. So that was in the beginning, after I started to get to know other creatures which are not my mom, but which have lived as human beings before, which do not have a human body anymore, but also other creatures which do belong to other species and which are intelligent and able to communicate with humans, but which do also not have their own biological body as humans would see it. So I go back again to my daily life. So um, often I get attacked because other creatures which have lived as human beings before do connect in symbiosis to my human body, to them put pressure on me that I should, like I said, consume a product because they can use my human body to catch that taste, to enjoy that product. But they even, if I get attacked for such stupid reason, they even go up to a level that they torture me for hours for stuff like that. That is part of my life. Um, the if if I look at the time period where I'm able to communicate with ancestors in general, so no matter if there are my ancestors or ancestors of other living families, the lifetime experience I have in the total time period is brutal regarding the pain level I have to feel nearly every day. Brutal is the only way I can describe it. And it's even worse, much more worse than you would them in a case where you would get attacked, for example, by humans which are working for military. For example, if humans which work for a military would decide to attack me, to capture me, to torture me, they could torture me until a point until my human body dies, not longer. If creatures which can repair human cells on a high level do decide that, they can even keep a human alive and destroy the human body on such a high level separate that the human normally would die. And then they can repair it and restart the torture. And that's, I think, something people cannot imagine if they had not to witness that by themselves. And I do not want anybody to be in the situation that he or she have to witness stuff like that by him or herself. Here I'm living together with people which are not my direct family. I had to witness so much attacks that I cannot even live together in the area where my sister or my brother, for example, is living. Because the risk is too high that them other creatures would attack them to put pressure on me. The behavior of some of the creatures I got to know in the past years is so fucked up and so antisocial that well, social societies do not accept such behavior, and I think that's right. But social societies, human societies, also have not the possibility to stop such creatures if they do so. The wounds which are getting created if other creatures do use my human body and overtake my human body in parts, or give my human brain orders that my human body is then doing something I do not want to do. For example, lifting my arm up. That is like rape. If you have to witness that in your own human body regarding your own human body. even such little things. And there's much more worse I had to witness. So when you watch the website siaembassy.com, you will find out that I mostly try to inform about peaceful communication to help humans to be able to communicate with their own ancestors. You will not find so much video material on the website where I talk about stuff like that. And beside the fact that I know that most people cannot imagine because they do not have the lifetime experience, what you maybe can imagine is that it is not a nice situation for me to speak out about stuff like that. It is embarrassing. It is stuff which did happen in my life, which I cannot avoid, which is happening often, these attacks. But it is, for me, myself, as a human, if I speak out about stuff like that, it's shameful in parts and totally embarrassing. But if you would judge me now because I spoke out, if you would judge now I'm a weak creature in a weak human body, you are wrong. Your judgment is just wrong. And that is also a problem that I, as a human who would like to help other humans to understand stuff better, creatures can do, which have lived as human beings before if they have lost their human body. It is difficult for me to be in the situation to produce video material where I know the most people cannot understand and will judge me wrong. That's also sometimes a little bit embarrassing for me. And sad. Very sad. I'm gonna I'm gonna try to explain you the last weeks in my life a little bit and just making a few points. So first of all, because creatures which have lived as human beings before do influence my human body and are connected in symbiosis to my human body, I'm in the situation that I forget everything very quick because they have manipulated my possibility to use my brain to memorize stuff. So it's like having Alzheimer. That's one of the effects, only one. In the past weeks, I got attacked often, daily, from creatures which have lived as human beings before, which do connect during the attacks to my bots, so my sexual organs, and which then to attack me start to destroy cells there, and afterwards they repair that, which to lead to a situation that I, for example, piss often blood if I go to the toilet. My blood, my human blood, because of the destroyed cells. I'm often getting attacked that creatures stop the circulation system in my human body in parts, which means, for example, if they do so, that my arm is not getting blood circulation anymore if I get attacked like that, and is getting them in these moments blue because there's no blood in my arm and it's nearly dying during the attacks and I cannot use it. I have no feeling them in my fingers. I get attacked like that very often during the day in the past weeks and months. I get often attacked by the method that creature which is attacking me like that. She have lived as a woman before. When she had her human body, she's connecting to my organs, which means she's in my human body, then she's moving to my organs, and she's starting to destroy them. So the kidney, for example, and so on. I often get attacked in my back, so that they start to attack the nerve system in the back, which then do lead to a lot of problems regarding my human body, and which do lead to a high pain level, even to situations where I cannot move anymore, where I can't leave the bed. Even that do happen in between because of the pain, but also because the legs them do not move anymore like they should if I give them the order. But that is the area where the order is going over to my legs. And if that is attacked and destroyed in part, you have it very hard to move. I'm getting often attacked by the people in the environment where I'm living, so their human bodies are getting used from other creatures, getting influenced that these humans do attack me. That's often happening. Go back now to my own human body. I get attacked by the method that creatures which do connect in symbiosis to my human body do attack my nerve system directly, which means they cause the pain directly over the nerve system directly, and they do not, in that specific situations I'm describing now, they do not attack other cells. No, they attack directly the nerve system in that situations. I stopped counting, but if I look back at the past few weeks, I would say I get attacked between 20 to 100 times a day. In between that, not every day is bad as the other, but none of these days, none of them are days I would like to live or to be alive. It would be better to be dead. That's how I look at it. Because the pain level is so high if these attacks do happen. You cannot protect yourself, and you're even unable to kill yourself if they torture you on such a high level, because they do construct a situation where you are unable to do so. So I want to make clear that other humans do understand that. I don't think that body sharing is a good option for the mass of the people to learn to communicate with their own ancestors. It's not a good option, and many ancestors see it the same way, even if humans think it would be an option which do not have the lifetime experience. Because these creatures which are born as humans, if they lose their human body later, they potentially will see each interaction as rape done, but they cannot see far enough as living humans. And that's why a lot of ancestors, also from other families I was in contact with, did communicate that they do not like to touch or influence the human body of their own family members because of that problem, that they do not know how they will see it later after they have lost their human body, how they them will judge their own family members, potentially, maybe even as rapists. Also, even in situations where a human during his lifetime might think, oh, I had contact, I had a great feelings transfer from my granddad. It is potentially possible that the same human who's so happy about that later loses the human body and is communicating to the granddad who did influence or touch the human body, did the feeling transfer, later communicate to the granddad, for example, no, you have wrecked my human body. If I would have seen directly what you are doing, what it means, I would have said no. So for the ancestors, even if they can influence human bodies, even if they can touch human bodies, even if they can do feelings transfers and all that, for the ancestors which are nice towards their living family members, they do often communicate. They do not want to use that communication method. They want living humans to understand that they should use also the other chances and options for communication which are there. Because it is like rape if a creature, without asking, is going into another human body and is doing stuff there. That's what humans call rape. If a man is raping a woman by entering her human body against her will or without asking her, without her permission, humans call that rape. And the ancestors are in the same situation. For example, if I communicate with the creator, which is my mom, which I've lived as a woman before, she's seeing it the same way. She communicated to me. The problem is that to be able to communicate with you, so me, Niall, by body sharing, I have to enter your human body. I have to connect in simbiose to your human body. And you have to be able to decide if you're going to see that as rape or not. And she also communicated the humans are not able to do so because they have not the bigger view, the most of them. In my case, because I can see very far and so on with my mom, it's okay if she's communicating with me, getting my permission, and them is using my body. Always if creatures doing connect and symbiosis to my human body, if I do not want that, and if I have communicated, I do not want that. And if they keep going with that, I see them as rapists always. To be very clear there. And please do not mix up all the bad stuff I'm talking about here with the fact that I'm also with my will often produce video materials where ghosts or creatures which have lived as human beings before do present themselves and communicate towards the public by using the natural environment. The most of the situations, except the attacks, are stuff I did agree to help these creatures and the living family members. So it's very important to be fair to these creatures, to not mix it up, to not mix it together, and not to not create a situation where a creature which made an agreement with me that I help him and that I agree to the fact to do so, which then is allowed to use my human body so that these creatures are not getting mixed up with other creatures which just rape humans. That would be very unfair towards these creatures, towards the living families. So you have to separate the informations there. You have to be very careful with your judgment, please, to be able to not be unfair towards nice creatures, which also do exist a lot in this universe. So let's go back to the point. So for example, creatures like my mom, she would be able to connect in symbiose to her sister's body, for example. She has a living sister. So her sister is living as a woman. And my mom is in this situation. She would love to be able to communicate with her sister. But she cannot easily connect in symbiose to the human body of the sister and doing a lot of feelings transfers or stuff like that to tell her, hi, here I am, we can communicate, because her sister already could see that procedure as rape. And that is correct. The view is correct. My mom communicated regarding that topic. If she's looking back now with the knowledge she has as a creature which will not have a human body anymore, which is able to use the symbiose and to connect in symbiose to other human bodies, she's looking at that as if she have to do it because it's necessary to communicate with me because of any situation maybe created by others. She looks at that she maybe is forced by others to react to a situation to abuse human bodies for a moment to be able to communicate with me, but she do not like to do that, and she's trying to keep that on a minimum and only if necessary. That's our situation since a longer while at the moment. I want to speak about there something else. There are also a lot of people, if they realize, okay, a creature did touch my human body, did influence my human body. A lot of people which do have not so much knowledge, they then freak out and they are totally happy about that they had contact with such a creature. If I look at that, I do not get why these people are mm, so blind. Because before you freak out, you should ask yourself if that could have been rape towards you. The problem is, if creatures which have lived as human beings before, if they would connect in symbiosis, for example, to your human body, they can trigger your feelings, the feelings caused by your biological body. So they can cause a situation where you then think you are happy because a creature did use or abuse your human body. But the question there is, how would you see that if you realized that these feelings, that you are happy, are created by the creature which did abuse your human body, by triggering that? And these are not your real feelings as a creature. How would you see it then? That's a question people can ask themselves. So if I go to the internet, if I search in the internet and I see all the people which freak out very happy because they were in contact with creation, and I mean the special ghost groups, so groups on Facebook, for example, where a lot of people are on their way which had contact with creatures which have lived as human beings before. Maybe which had a feelings transfer or knowledge input. And often these people, if they just have one contact or just a very few, they're totally happy about it. Well, are they really happy about it, or are they just victims of manipulation on their biological feelings regarding their human body? That's how people like me look at that, with a lot of lifetime experience regarding the positive stuff creatures which have lived as human beings can do if they connect in symbiosis to human bodies. So creatures which have lived as human beings before, sorry, if they connect in symbiosis to human bodies, but who have also a lot of negative lifetime experience. A lot of creatures which have lived as human beings before, they, if they connect in symbiosis to human bodies, they manipulate the feelings and the thoughts of the humans. Who is the human in my eyes? The creature who was born in the human body. Whose human body it is. That's how I see it as a human. So I want to know, if I look at situations like that, and if humans communicate that, I'm interested in the question, how would the creature which was born as the human really think? Or she, if he or she would realize, oh, the beautiful feeling I have is a fake, is a lie, created by the creature which have used my human body. The beautiful thoughts I have are maybe triggered and also a lie. These are tools that the creature which is born in the human body, if he or she cannot see far enough, that a situation is caused, that the human body will lie to the creature itself, influenced by other creatures. And that's how mean the level is. Because your own human body, that's what you call your own feelings, are potentially the weapons which are going to be used against you. And to make the level more clear to the people which are watching the video, your feelings when you got up today. Do you have a good day? Do you have a bad day? I don't know, you can't answer quickly. But are these feelings really your feelings as a creature, or the feelings caused by your biological body? If these feelings are caused by your biological body only, all of these feelings can get manipulated and created by creatures which do connect in symbiosis to your human body and which do manipulate your human body. And then you as a human, if you cannot see far enough, you will judge totally wrong. You will judge, these are my feelings, that's how I think, and that is wrong. It's even if creatures which have lived as human beings before, if they connect in symbiosis to human bodies like mine, they even can downgrade the consciousness level of the creature who was born in the human body itself. So that the creature them just have a wrong focus, maybe just on the feeling triggered by the biological human body. So if you feel something with your really human body, your human feelings caused by your biological human body, the level is that these feelings are maybe not your feelings. Depending on the situation, these feelings could get caused by other creatures which do order your brain to produce such feelings. And then if you not have learned to identify that, to reflect on a very, very high level in your own human body, you become a victim of your own wrong judgment. And potentially you're going to behave exactly like the other creature want that, which is attacking you. And you maybe going to decide how your feelings are telling you which would be the right decision, just because these feelings are caused by another creature. And then you became a slave of the influence by another creature because you're deciding on the wrong judgment base how you will behave as a human. And that is the level, and that's very difficult to understand for a lot of humans which are grown up in an ego society or in one of these ego societies, how I call it. I'm going to upload more videos where I'm going to speak a little bit about my lifetime experience. My English is not perfect yet. I'm recovering from a long time and a lot of attacks. So a long painful time, a long very stressful time, and a long time where my human brain was manipulated by other creatures connected in symbiosis to my human body on a very high level, which did lead to a situation that even a few weeks ago I was unable to speak English as good as you hear in that video. When I was young, I could speak English very well, but I'm grown up in German, so German is the language I do practice daily. When I started to be able to communicate with creatures which have lived as human beings before, they even created a situation that I even lost my skills in the German language, which I was practicing my whole life. And the same is the fact with English. So if you go back in time, if you see videos where I look totally confused or where my English is not so good as in this video, much worse even if the English in this video is not perfect. But do not wonder about that. That is caused because other creatures did influence my human body and they did downgrade my options as a creature, how I can use my human body. And since I'm connected with such creatures on such a level, so since a few years in my life, the way I can use my human body compared to before is totally downgraded. Not upgraded or something, downgraded. I was a fit, smart guy before who was able to speak a few languages like German and English. I could communicate very well. And then I came into the situation that I was connected. I could not memorize stuff. I lost my language skills. I could not move with my human body anymore. I was suffering from stress, pain constantly over years. So all these are negative factors in my life, downgrades created by other creatures which have lived as human beings before and which did influence my human body in that way for a long time. So if you go back in time in the internet and if you find old video material, do not wonder if I might look confused or if my English is totally bad or if I look very stressed in front of the camera. That is a result of the fact that my human body is getting influenced by other creatures which have lived as human beings before. And if you watch such material, for example, where I documented peaceful communication with a creature which, for example, is presenting him or herself in the video to communicate towards their own living family members with the video material, do not judge wrong. If you see one video and I cannot speak English very well, or if I'm totally confused, it is caused by another creature, maybe connected in symbiosis to my human body, but maybe not the creature you see in the video material. So it's very important to not judge wrong, to be very specific if you really want to understand that stuff. And if you really want to do that, you have to analyze on the bestest possible level. Thanks for watching, Niall Sebastian Power Sieger, and maybe my video material in the future will help some people to understand depression periods in their life better, or if something happened to them they see as an illness factor or whatever. Maybe these videos do lead to a situation that people get another perspective. Do not forget, we live in a huge biosystem. What my human body maybe is to you if you watch this video is like your human body. It's a closed circulation system, how you have learned it in school. That is wrong. It's part of a huge universe, a huge biosystem, how you can call it. And it's open for some creatures to travel into my human body, to use it, and to leave my human body again. And for others, it's closed because they are also in a biological body, and maybe they cannot move into my human body because they are in their own human body. So that is the level how you can try to understand the difference and the possibilities, the difference between you as a creature in your human body, if you have to live in that, and creatures which do not have a human body anymore. Creatures which do not have a human body anymore see each biological body as a potential tool they can use, see each biological body as a body where they potentially can live in, where they can potentially connect in symbiosis to the human body, where they potentially, by connecting in symbiosis to the biological body, no matter if human, animal body, or plant body, but for example, regarding us humans, for example, if my mom is connected in symbiosis to my human body, she can see with my eyes. She can use my human brain and my eyes, and she can see the same what I see. She can taste. If I drink and eat something, she can smell. So that is important stuff. Please try to understand that. Thanks for watching. Your Niall Sebastian Power Sieger, and more videos you will find on my YouTube channel. If you like the videos, please leave a like, and you can do me a great favor, and you can do other creatures a great favor which have lived as human beings before. On the website seaembassy.com, you'll find the Ancestors video database where a lot of creatures which have lived as human beings before do search for their living family members, where they do speak out and present themselves to reach their living family members, so that the living family members do receive a life signal, and that a situation is there that the living family members of them are not so sad anymore because they think they have lost someone who's still existing as a creature. So it is always nice if you share these kind of videos so that other people can inform themselves about ancestors communication, and that these creatures have the chance to reach more and more people, including their living family members. Thank you very much for watching. Again, your Niall Sebastian Power Sieger. Please leave a like and share. Thanks.